Hi guys, it's Stu from Husk, and we've put together this video just to help break down how Surreal came together. We've got Stephen Watkins, he's going to break down all the production. Nathan, who was there helping out and taking photos and providing loads of great input, he's going to talk a little bit. And we have Chris Wemyss, who's the venue manager at MacArts. He's going to talk about kind of a little bit of history of the building and how Saw came to be in there and how we came to be in there. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Happy Coronavirus Pandemic 2020. So here with a very quick isolated experience of the new Husk track Surreal. Take it away, Johnny's feet and hands. Heads. Mono room. Mic up in the sky, which is sidechain gated to the snare. And this is part of Johnny's signature snare tone. Oh shit! Brandon on the bass. Okay, got bass direct. Listen to that guy's tune. Some stereo effects courtesy of me. I quite like kind of 80s records, sort of Dimension D spread, stereo choruses, that kind of thing, so that's cool. And then what's this here? Oh! Some sort of overdriven preamp. All together. What a guy. Been getting a few calls in about this plaster on the finger that actually was created earlier this evening while I was making dinner, and I took a knife through an onion into my actual hand, and let me tell you guys, it hurts like fuck. Okay, so moving on to Stu's guitar. He likes to go for this dual amp setup. There's a Marshall and a Roland. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And then some effects by me. So here we go. Marshall. Roland. Oh, I like that amp. It's very clean. Me. Instant Bryan Adams for the boys. All three. The big time. Cheeky. When the guys come to record, they like to bring another piece of equipment with them called a callum. It looks like a human, but you plug it in and you get sort of mad soundscapes, and honestly the opposite of what seriously is amazing and works perfectly. I think it's great. So for all your great rock kind of amp tones that Stu provides, you get kind of soundscapey, almost Brian Eno, or sometimes two in their heyday, kind of odd affected guitar parts. They complement each other really well. So let's check out what he brings to the table. So Callum's lead parts, my effects. What a fucking team. Some more effects of mine here. Sometimes with Callum, we'll mic up entire parts of the building as an ambient effects set using the church live room or the tower to create the reverb, and those delays are all made using tape machines. And what else is there? Oh, some saw thing here. Oh, guys. when I was at my funeral, which is probably in about 6 or 7 days from now. We also seem to have an overdub here called Simply Synth. Let's check it out. I believe this is a Korg, micro Korg, is it? If it is, what's funny is they think this is some cool vintage synth, and I remember when these came out brand new, which makes me a fucking old, soon-to-be fat dad. But it sounds pretty good, so that made it into the mix. Okay, next up we got the lead vocal, which is Stu. For those gear geeks out there, my vocal mic of choice is a vintage 60s Sennheiser 421. I think it's the best mic ever made. I've never heard anything. It's not even expensive, and it's white, which is cool. For this, again, we use the built-in ambience tape machines to create delays, and I create a track of chaos generated by Stu, and then I'll fade in the dry. I'm blinded. You're a devil dressed in white, and if it's too late now to call, then that's alright. 'Cause I won't forget. So next up on backing vocals is, of course, Brandon, who has a sort of Jeff Buckley type falsetto thing, which he does really well. It's kind of a signature thing, I would say. And the natural separation of the two ranges makes them sit really good in the mix without any effort. So here's Brandon, and I'll fade up Stu. Add my effects next, because they're the most important. And that concludes our breakdown of Surreal by Husk. So go and buy it. It's a great single. They're one of my favourite bands to work with, and they're very nice people. They're making hits. I think so. See you later, baby.
New song is out today. Exciting, really exciting. My name's Nathan. I was in the studio in the capacity of a recording assistant for this session in a pop-up studio in a venue in Galashiels called MacArts. It was a fantastic venue. Look into that online. It's a converted church. Behind the church is a second hall, which is where Husk recorded this single. Stephen Watkins, known online as Mixed by Saw. Someone else you should definitely look up if you're a musician, solo, in a band, and you're looking for the dramatic, cinematic, grandiose, over-the-top sound. He's a person to speak to. In 2019 we set the studio up because we wanted that scale to be captured on tape, the scale of such a space, and we wanted bands that would match that space in the way they think about their music. Husk are one of those bands. It's not like any other studio, and it was never supposed to be like any other studio, and when bands come in, it's nice to watch the reaction as we go through the process of tracking, and they can expect to find, as Husk did, their gear set up in very unusual places, their performances taking place in very unusual spaces in the building. The only thing we're interested in is making them sound as big as possible. Something really exciting going on in Scotland at the minute. Over that year in that church, we've seen extremely good bands come in, and the people that did arrive wanted to see their music and their ideas on a very large scale. So you'll probably hear that in Husk's music. They're a brilliant band, really good guys. Look out for Husk, look them up. Look up Stephen Watkins, Mixed by Saw, look up MacArts and Gala Shields. It's probably worth saying as well that at no other time right now that I can remember do we need great artists and great music and people contributing to the world in a much more positive way than seems to be happening at the minute. So it's exciting to hear and see these bands pushing forward, making tracks to the future with important music, I think. Very important music. That's why we're here, so good luck out there, whoever you are.
Chris Weems. I'm the venue manager at the 300 capacity MacArts in Gala Shields. MacArts was founded by a group of music fans back in 2009 who saw the potential in a disused church. It's named after a legendary Borders promoter called Duncan McKinnon, who brought bands like the Stones, The Who, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple to the Borders. It operates as a charity, and it's now the only grassroots music and arts venue in the Scottish Borders. Over the last couple of years we hosted a diverse range of performances, from say vistas to live opera, from theatre to the first night of the Scout for Girls tour. And in the last week or so, GQ magazine put us in their list of the top 4 small Scottish venues. The producer Stephen Watkins, who you all know as Saw, came to visit us early 2019. We immediately clicked, gave him a tour of the building, and when he saw the green room, he started to hatch plans about using it as a big live room. And from then the recording side of MacArts has just mushroomed. What immediately drew us to Stephen was there's just no bullshit. It's just about recording the capturing the magic of the performance, not about things like how much your microphones might cost. It's been fantastic to see bands like Husk coming down the Borders to record, and when bands come, we try to make everybody feel part of the team, and hope for a little bit of the MacArts is in every recording. We were really pleased when we heard the Descending EP, and you could really hear how that big live room had been used, and we're all really looking forward to hearing Surreal when it's released.
So I'm going to talk about how I wrote Surreal and how we recorded it and rearranged it to fit the band. It was originally written in my bedroom on an acoustic guitar, and it's about uncertainty in a relationship and questioning your own feelings because the other person that you're sharing these experiences with maybe doesn't quite feel the same way, or you don't feel like they feel the same way. When we were adjusting and rearranging the track to fit a full band and add drums and bass and all these extra instruments, we really didn't want to lose the simple meaning and the kind of the feel of the original track. And I feel like we've done a really good job of maintaining kind of message throughout. Recording, everyone who's worked with him will say that Saw is an absolute genius, and from the get-go is super easy to work with, and helps create a really comfortable space for everybody. He really does, in his setup in Galashiels in the church, as Chris explained, he really kind of immediately fell in love with it, and he uses the whole church, any tower, hall, or bathroom or basement he can get his hands on. So in a similar vein to Sog went through it, the drums we record, we help Saw tune up the whole kit. He starts with that, and then Johnny just whacks them. The sound of the church is the sound of the record. That's exactly how they sound in a room. They always sound massive. Next, the bass is a really interesting one for us. It's something that we've never really done before, is record without an amp or without a physical sound in the room. We run the bass into the desk with a Sans Amp DI, which we blew up halfway through the session. Sorry again, Nathan.
Yeah, Husk. It's band Husk.
Stephen's studio effects and all the kind of extra stuff he does to the bass track really saved that. At one point we ran a guitar through a fully wet OC2 to lower the pitch down an octave and take out the dry signal, which sounded awesome too. The synth, our vintage microKORG, is just a simple 2-note melody through the second verse, just to kind of help keep a momentum running through the track. My guitar, we run through an ABY switcher to record both of the amps simultaneously. It means one less take to get right, I suppose. Both of the amps are set up in, it's not a stereo, it's a dual mono, but I really try and kind of tailor them to really make it one sound, not two different amps playing the same thing. Callum's guitar, we run again through the Marshall. It gets turned up and it starts to saturate a little bit. We use a lot of reverb and delays and kind of modulations through his guitar tracks to help add a little space between the guitars and really provide a kind of thick layer of ambience. As Saw says, both of our guitars work really well to complement each other, I think. The vocals are done in the corner in the live room. It's tough to explain how or why they do it, but the sound and the effect that corner has on the vocal tracks is something special. In the same way that Callum and my guitars work complementary, Brandon and my vocals, we really aim to do the same thing. We don't tend to view them as a lead and a backing vocal. We kind of try and look at it more as two lead vocals, just more dual harmonies and such. It's been really fun working with Stephen in the church and working with Nathan and kind of working through finding harmonies or finding little melody parts that we would have maybe never thought of otherwise. I can't thank them both enough, both Saw and Nathan, for all the help and work they put into the tracks. Chris Weems is always super enthusiastic, and whenever he pops in, he's always a great person to have around. And as Stephen says, Callum is a great piece of equipment to bring with us, and oftentimes his guitar really fills out the whole track and takes it to another level that we couldn't really manage on our own. So now that we've broken down it all, I've talked a little bit about recording it. Saw's produced it, Nathan's talked about it, Chris has talked about where you can now go and listen to Surreal on Spotify, on all streaming services now. Let us know what you think, like and share,